The doors to the great hall banged open, interrupting her. All turned to see a figure with the sun at her back standing in the doorway. She was nothing but a silhouetted outline as she stood there. Whispered questions hissed through the great hall. It was Queen Alara who inhaled a sharp breath and whispered, "Rowena." She snapped her head in the direction of King Stefan. "Did you invite the Queen of the Eternal Court?" A sickly sensation pierced Stefan as he looked at the figure standing in the doorway. His mouth went bone dry. I think she was overlooked." "Oh, dear," Titania said as she rose to her full height. "A grave error, indeed." Atlas and Draco also got to their feet, turning to eye the queen at the end of the great hall. Rowena sauntered from the doorway in slow, methodical, purposeful steps. Dark, baleful eyes alighted on the crowd as she went. She was dressed in a long-sleeved gown of shimmering midnight, a long train trailing behind her. Circling her head was an onyx crown that glittered like mirrored shafts of light. Angled cheekbones and full dark red lips gave her face a severe appearance. There was something sinister yet beautiful about her. At the end of the aisle she paused, her sharp gaze glancing from King Stefan and his wife to the baby nestled inside the cradle. Silence descended on the gathering. "Well, isn't this a lovely affair?" Her voice echoed throughout the great hall. Glittering black eyes paused on each of the Fey royals before resting on King Stefan. "Pity I didn't garner an invitation, though I was able to find my way here after all." "Your Majesty, my deepest apologies," King Stefan said as he stepped around Queen Ilara. He grappled with an excuse, any excuse that would appease the Dark Queen. "Your kingdom is remote and—" "Remote?" She laughed, but it was without humor. "Perhaps you feel that way because it's on the other side of the kingdom from—" She paused, gave a look of disdain, and waved her hand at the other royals. "Them." "We want no trouble here, Rowena," Draco said, stepping forward. He paused next to Stefan. She flashed him a look so deadly, he pressed his lips together into a straight line. Queen Eleanor stepped forward then, placing herself between Rowena and the baby. Stefan reached for her, but she waved him off. "We meant no disrespect, Your Majesty," she said, her voice even and clear. "We would be pleased if you joined us." "Would you?" One dark brow lifted in question. "Of course." Eleanor gave her a smile. Then she did the unthinkable. She held her hand out to the Dark Queen. "Come and meet our new princess." Rowena's gaze landed on the crib. She walked forward, ignoring Eleanor's outstretched hand. The queen dropped her hand as Rowena peered down at the tiny baby with the waving fists in the cradle. The little princess's skin shimmered with fairy dust from the other three royals bestowing their gift upon her. "What a lovely child," she said. "I see the others have imparted fairy gifts. Allow me to bestow my gift upon the princess." Eleanor, still smiling, said, "We would love that." Rowena bent over the crib and drew her finger down the baby's cheek. Her skin still glittered with fairy dust. "Little princess, I see you have been given gifts of beauty, strength, and charm." She straightened, then held one of her hands down, cupped. A swirling, shimmery cloud of purple magic was contained in her palm as she lifted it up. Her gaze met the king's. "But none of those will be enough to save her. For before the sun sets on her 18th birthday, she will prick her finger on the thorn of a rose and die."